California's real estate industry does not want you to see this video, because the entire brand is an $812,000 median and a bidding war over a bungalow. And meanwhile, there are corners of this state where houses list for $15,000, sit for a year, and still don't sell. Nobody wants them. And the reasons why are the most fascinating real estate story in the West. This is not a video about bargains. It's a video about catches, and California has invented some spectacular ones. We've got a lot where the house is cheap and the water meter costs up to $20,000 before a single faucet works. A lakefront town where the view is free and the insurance company has stopped answering the phone. A community sitting 200 feet below sea level next to a shrinking sea whose exposed lakebed sends toxic dust into the air. And a number one where a fire took 40 homes in a single afternoon from a town that had almost nothing to spare, and the land is now nearly free. If the phrase "what's the catch" is your love language, hit that subscribe button, because this entire video is the catch. Let's count it down. Number 12, Westmoreland. Westmoreland is a farm town of about 2,000 people in the Imperial Valley, surrounded by some of the most productive winter vegetable fields in America, and homes here list at a fraction of any coastal price. The catch is the labor economy. Imperial County has posted some of the highest unemployment rates in the United States, routinely in the teens or worse, and the work that exists is seasonal, agricultural, and brutal in summer heat that regularly clears 115 degrees. Westmoreland grows the lettuce in your January salad. It cannot grow you a paycheck. Number 11, Calipatria. Calipatria sits 180 feet below sea level and is home to the tallest flagpole in America, built to reach exactly sea level so the flag flies at zero elevation, which is the most delightfully unnecessary engineering flex in the state. Homes here are cheap, the town is tidy, and the catch is written on the horizon in razor wire. Calipatria State Prison is the economic anchor, one of California's largest, and the local job market rises and falls with corrections budgets. A town's flag flies at sea level. The town itself lives below it in every sense the map allows. Number 10, Ocotillo. Ocotillo is a scatter of homes off Interstate 8 in western Imperial County, wrapped by one of the largest wind farms in the region. Hundreds of turbines whose approval split the community, and whose noise complaints are the town's ongoing civic conversation. Land here is close to free, the desert views are enormous, and there is functionally no economy. The wind never stops, neither does the argument about it. Number 9, Desert Shores. Desert Shores was built as a resort community on the Salton Sea's western shore, complete with a marina and canals, and today the boats are gone because the water retreated past the boat launch and kept going. Homes list in the tens of thousands. The catch is the shoreline itself, because as the sea shrinks, the exposed lakebed, called playa, releases fine dust laced with a century of agricultural runoff, and Imperial County children have among the highest rates of asthma-related emergency room visits in California. Desert Shores has canals with no water in a town whose main health risk is the air. Number 8, Salton Sea Beach. Salton Sea Beach continues the same story a few miles south, a platted resort grid where cheap homes and cheaper lots sit on streets designed for a vacation boom that peaked before most buyers were born. Recent listings show a handful of homes around $155,000 median, but the vacant lots go for a tiny fraction of that, and this is where people get hurt. Buying dirt is easy. Making dirt habitable is the entire problem, and we're building to that. Number 7, North Shore. North Shore, on the sea's northeastern edge, was the crown jewel, a 1950s yacht club designed by a noted architect where the Beach Boys played and Hollywood came to water ski. The yacht club still stands, restored as a community center, staring at a shoreline that has walked away from it. Homes and mobile homes here are among the cheapest in Riverside County. The catch is the same as its neighbors: dust, distance, and a sea that is still receding, though the county has been building wetland restoration projects that represent a genuine attempt to hold the line. North Shore was designed for people arriving by boat. The boats left first. If you're still watching, the top 6 is where the catches stop being about scenery and start being about paperwork, so hit that like button, because the next one costs $20,000 before you turn on a tap. Number 6. Lucerne. Lucerne sits on the north shore of Clear Lake in Lake County, and it is genuinely beautiful, with lakefront homes listing at prices that look like data entry errors to anyone from the Bay Area 2 hours south. The catch here is the one quietly reshaping rural California. Insurance. Lake County has burned repeatedly, and across the state's high-risk fire zones, insurers have been non-renewing policies en masse, pushing owners onto the FAIR Plan, the state's insurer of last resort, which costs more and covers less. A house you can buy cash is one thing. A house no lender will finance because you cannot insure it is another. Lucerne's lakefront is a bargain right up until the underwriter opens the wildfire map. Number 5. Clear Lake Oaks. Clear Lake Oaks continues the theme with some of the cheapest deeded property in Northern California, and it stacks a second catch on top of the first. Clear Lake, the oldest lake in North America, experiences serious cyanobacteria blooms in warm months, the kind that generate health advisories about contact with the water. So the lake that makes the property affordable is also periodically the reason you can't swim in it. Add the fire insurance problem from the entry before, and Clear Lake Oaks becomes a place where the two things selling the house, the lake and the trees, are the two things making it uninsurable and occasionally unswimmable. Number 4. Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach sits 223 feet below sea level with a few hundred residents, structures that have sold in the tens of thousands, and an international art scene that has turned its ruins into installations and its annual festival into a genuine cultural event. That renaissance is real and worth respecting. The catch is the health one, and it deserves a straight answer rather than a joke. The playa dust, the summer heat, the distance to a hospital, and the limited services make this a genuinely demanding place to live full-time, and the artists who winter here and leave in June are making a rational calculation that year-round residents don't get to make. The cheapest oceanfront-style address in America, on a sea that is leaving, in air that fights you. Number 3. Salton City. Salton City is where the single best hidden catch in California real estate lives, and I want everyone to hear this one clearly. This is the vast 1950s master-planned grid, hundreds of miles of paved streets and streetlights laid out for tens of thousands of people who never came, with vacant lots that have sold for as little as a few $1,000s. People buy them constantly, dreaming of a mobile home and a fresh start. And then they discover, often after closing, that connecting water can cost anywhere from about $9,000 to nearly $20,000 for a new meter or permit depending on the jurisdiction, a cost that some agents simply never mention. Listings in the area now advertise an existing water connection as a headline feature, which tells you exactly how common the surprise is. Your $4,000 lot needs a $15,000 hookup, a septic system, a power drop, and a permit. The land was never the expensive part. Number 2. Trona. Trona is a chemical company town on Searles Dry Lake in San Bernardino County, where homes have sold for under $50,000, and, after the 2019 Ridgecrest earthquake sequence damaged the town, for considerably less. The mineral plant still pulls borax and soda ash from the lakebed. The smell is part of the lease, and the high school football team famously played on an all-dirt field for decades because the mineral-saturated soil killed every blade of grass anyone planted. The catch here is a stack. Earthquake exposure on an active fault system, an economy tied to one employer, water quality complaints that have persisted for years, and a location so remote that the nearest full grocery store is a serious drive. Trona is proud, tough, and nearly free, and every one of those three things is connected to the other two. Number 1. Kneeland. Kneeland is where the arithmetic of this entire video comes due. This unincorporated Imperial County town of roughly 1,000 people has the cheapest housing stock in California, with structures and lots trading for prices that look like typos. And it sits 3 miles from Slab City and just past Salvation Mountain, the painted adobe hill one man spent nearly 30 years building. And now the part I'm going to slow down for. In June 2020, a fire tore through Kneeland and destroyed around 40 homes in a matter of hours, displacing well over 100 people in a community that had nearly nothing to spare. And the recovery has been slow, underfunded, and painful. Many of those homes were older mobile units, some uninsured, and for the families involved, this was not a real estate story. It was everything they had. What remains is the full catch list in one town. Unemployment among the highest in the nation. Summer temperatures past 115 degrees. Playa dust from the sea 4 miles away. Thin emergency services. Water infrastructure that has struggled for years. And a fire scar that reminds everyone what happens when a place with no margin loses a bad afternoon. The houses cost almost nothing because the risk costs almost everything, and the market has priced that correctly. Empty California isn't empty because nobody wants a cheap house. It's empty because in this state, cheap is never the price. It's the invoice for everything the listing didn't mention. That's the list, the cheapest addresses in California, and the exact reasons the market walked away from every one of them. If this video rewired what affordable means to you, subscribe because next week I'm covering the cheap towns where the catch is survivable and how to tell the difference before you sign. Drop a comment with the catch you'd actually live with, and I'll see you in the next one.